you guys could hop on. It's funny how this actually got started. I was speaking with a fellow beauty guide that is on here right now, and we were talking about one of our favorite subjects, which is the opportunity and sponsoring. And we realized that when we were chatting about it, that what she was doing was totally opposite of what I was doing. And it really made us think that a lot of beauty guides starting out, because they're not used to it, think that there's a certain way that they have to reach out to people about the opportunity. And we really realized that it would be good for us to come on and share exactly what we each personally do, to let you know that there are many different ways that you can do this, and it can all be successful, and for you to really try everything and see what works for you. Tish, did you want to start with what you're doing? I'll mute myself.
Yeah. Okay. I am going to start first because I actually am working today. So for me, what's been most successful is I do a lot of in-person for sales, for sponsoring, for anything like that. So for me, having conversations with people that I personally know has been the most successful for me. And I find I really have to distinguish what would attract someone to do this. Like for me, like when I was having the conversation with Sally about joining, like if she would have started talking to me about the comp plan, that would have been way over my head and it wouldn't have got me. Talking to me about natural skincare is what got me. So for me, I really I consider what would attract the person I'm talking to the most. So like if it's anyone who loves to travel like me, talk about the incentive trips, the traveling where you can claim it, things like that, you would have me in a second. But like I said, talking about the comp plan to me just would go way over my head and I would be gone. So just really knowing who you're talking to, knowing what intrigues them and what would spark their interest the most has been what was the most successful for me.
That's awesome. And it's funny. It's going to be awesome hearing all these different stories to see what attracted them to the business as well.
Because, like a lot of people, like unless you were a network marketer before, which I wasn't, they can't see the possibilities until you're actually doing it. So you have to really try and zone in on the one thing that you think would interest them the most, whether it be like the professional makeup, the all natural skincare. If it's someone who has been a network marketer before, then definitely the comp plan. Like you just got to really figure out what would interest and intrigue them the most.
Absolutely. I'll go next because I feel like a couple of things that I wanted to talk about are so similar to what you were talking about, which I love. So, but with Tish, I feel like I'm the opposite. I feel like I'm more comfortable talking to, I don't want to say a complete stranger, but someone I may have met through social media. I feel less comfortable doing in person, and I feel more comfortable doing online, talking with people about the opportunity. That's my comfort zone. So that's why it's good to just really feel out what you are comfortable with, because what you're comfortable with, you will be confident with, and that's where you will be more successful in talking about the opportunity. I believe there's 4, for me, big things at work. I always have excitement. I am a very excitable person anyways. So, but when it comes to the company and that I'm offering the opportunity to someone for whatever reason they want to hear, I find it's really exciting because they could be doing something that's going to change your life. So I carry that excitement through when I am talking with them. I think another thing too is to have full, complete confidence in the opportunity. I think that's huge. When you're confident in this opportunity and how incredible it is, that, transpires to the person. Being relatable is huge. It kind of intertwines with my next one of creating a vision for them. And this where like Tish and I were kind of on the same page with this. You find out why they want to join or what is intriguing for them. Like Tish said, I think that is absolutely huge. And like she said, if someone is not interested or has not been in network marketing in the past, talking about the compensation plan, you may have completely lost them, and they might think it's completely overwhelming and they don't even want to bother starting. So when you're talking with someone too, I find being really relatable. I always like to tell a story, you know, like if they're nervous about something, because most of the time people want to sign up and do this, but there's something that's holding them back. There's something they're not confident about. There's something like they may not feel that they could be successful. So if you be relatable and maybe tell a story and share a vision with them, you can, you know, usually, well, you're relating to them. So for example, if they're nervous that they're not going to do well, I would probably say, well, that's what I thought before I started. I thought, oh my God, what if I'm not successful? What if I do this and I put it out there and nothing happens? But that's not what happened. I shared my passion for the company, and, you know, I'm doing amazing now, and I would love to be able to walk you through this process. And creating a vision for someone in the sense that show them what they're capable of. Sadly enough, in the society, we don't believe in ourselves enough. So if you're kind of able to show them what they can do over here, then I find that kind of gives them the confidence as well. So that's what I tend to do.
Oh, and I know too, like talking about like the excitement, like whenever I'm talking to someone, like if I get the opportunity to actually meet with them, I think everyone has come back to me saying like, oh my God, like I can see how excited you are about this. You can tell you really love it. And if I'm doing it online with someone, if I don't have the opportunity to meet with them, I use voice clips so that they can actually hear my excitement in my voice.
Me too. I do the same thing. Yeah. And you know what? Instead of having this huge paragraph when you're only doing about 20 seconds of talking, it looks so much better listening to it for 15 seconds. You're taking less of their time up. And like you said, they can hear your excitement.
Yeah. And it's way more personable.
Way more. Yes. They want to hear your voice. It just makes a greater connection. Yeah. Does anyone else want to go next? Who's here? Candy? I think there might be 3 Candies on here. I'm not sure.
I'm happy to go.
Okay.
I have a 6-year-old, so he doesn't come and interrupt. So I feel for myself, I'm like kind of similar to both Tish and Leslie. So I'm definitely more of like somebody who I know, but I'm an online kind of girl. I don't do a lot of face-to-face stuff. I really should, because I know that we need to. But I'm definitely, I'm great at recruiting people that I know. I'm not good at recruiting strangers. Like Leslie is fantastic at that. I definitely feel like I can kind of joke a little bit more with people I know. So I feel like I know where they're already at, what they're going to appreciate about the business. So I think, yeah, you know your customers, you know your friends. You can kind of just help them along the way. And like what Tish was saying, if they love traveling, mention to them, hey, look at all these trips I've gone. I go 2 a year, 3 a year. This is awesome. You know, I totally think you can do this. Being real, honest, and it's yeah, and it's also fun because you can tell them, you know, I would love to do this with you. It's so much fun. I would love to be able to go and go on these holidays with you. I'd love to be able to work with you. Yeah, so that's definitely where I work my business the best, is with people that I know. Even customers, for sales, it's definitely easier for me for people that I know.
People you know. And it was Candy and I that were on our call together when we decided, I think we need to like talk about this more, the fact that, you know, being in person and talking to people that I know, like my friends, about the opportunity, I don't know why I'm so not comfortable with it. And you are literally the complete opposite. So, and it works for, like, what works for you doesn't work for me, and vice versa, right? So yeah, I think that's awesome. Who wants to go next? Is there Sally, Candy?
Well, I can go since I've recruited 3 in the last little bit, but I have no
Yeah.
idea why. But anyway, I was pretty excited about that. I'm down with my mom in the manor, so you're going to hear voices and screams or whatever, but we're okay. Yeah, so I've recruited, but I'm like Tish. It was all one-on-one with these people, and I did actually a video in my group, and when I did the video, I just talked about it. And then all of a sudden I had people messaging me and I'm like, oh my God, should I have been talking about this sooner? And yeah, I should have been, because now that I'm talking about it, people are like, oh, I'm so glad that you talked about it, because I've been watching you and I was thinking about doing this. And so Heather, for instance, Heather Ching, she's like gung-ho. She's so excited. She's in the green room. She's learning all she can. And it's like, just talk about it. Because the more we talk about it, the more excited that people get. So that's what I'm doing for myself and for the company and for them, is talking about it, because when you talk about something, you have no idea how much of an impact it is on them. So that's all that I'm doing, and it seems to be working.
It's totally working. and to add to that, I think if you may have people that are watching you, and if you're not talking about it, like if they do not know the industry, they might not know that they can even sign up with you. I know that sounds silly from our side of it, but they may think that maybe only certain beauty guides sign people up. Like they might not know. So if you're not talking about it and offering it, they might not know to come to you, and they might have been interested in watching you this whole time. So yeah.
And I know like a couple of them did say to me too, like, well, I just didn't want to take anything away from you because you're doing so good. I said, listen, I said, it's not about a competition. It's about teamwork and building and getting everybody in Eastern PEI with skincare and makeup from my life. That's what it's about.
That's so
Anything
awesome.
other than that. So
And
that's how
congrats
I
again,
saw it.
Candy. Seriously. Amazing. Seriously.
And yeah, I do.
Well, I'm glad.
I do think when you live in a small community that some people might think they don't want to step on your toes to be doing the same thing as you're doing. So
Yeah.
if you're not sharing that you want people to come over with you, then they may not think that, you know, they're welcome.
Exactly. And I think that's me talking about it's making it easier for them to say,
Yeah.
oh, she is looking for somebody.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I'm going to keep talking about it. It's going to be my goal at least once or twice a week to go on my lives and talk about it. Or maybe every day I'll just mention a little blurb of it.
I talk about it every single day. Every
Maybe
day.
that's what I'm going to have to do.
Because you never
Yeah.
know who just happens to be seeing it at that time.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Okay, I'm going to hop off, Leslie. I'm going to run
Yes.
back to work. But if anyone who's watching this, if you have any questions for me, you can just feel free to personally message me or whatever. I can answer any questions anybody might have for me, but I just got to run. Sorry, guys.
No problem, Tish. Thanks for hopping on. Huh?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, bye.
Okay, I'm going to put my phone on mute so somebody else's turn.
Okay. Sally, did you want to go up? Is Sally here?
Hi.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm here.
Okay, good.
So I liked how what attracted us and how we joined. And I'll just say, like, I kind of knew a little bit about it, had a conversation with Leslie. Leslie said, oh my goodness, this fantastic company's coming to Canada. We're all going to be thinking rich. And I said, sign me up. So I'm a little weird. Not everybody's that easy, okay? But even still, because we had a pre-launch, I had my ebbs and flows where I'm like, I don't think I can do this. I don't know anything about skincare. I don't know anything about makeup. I don't think I can do this. And she'd say, you know what? Just grab something out of skincare. You can sell skincare. Forget about the makeup, you know? Like, so even so in the beginning, I knew I wanted to do this. I still questioned myself. So we have to remember that when we're talking to somebody, we need patience. It's going to take them some time. How long did it take you to decide to finally press that button? Did it take a few days, a few weeks, a few months? So we
Mhm.
have to allow that freedom for these people to do their research, feel comfortable with it, envision themselves being a beauty guide, envision themselves having that paycheck, growing a team and stuff like that. So that's why we need to be doing our follow-ups, is to help them picture that in their head. Help
Yes.
them envision, help them boost them up and make them realize that yes, they can do it, because we started where we were with nothing too, you know.
Mhm.
Or maybe if they are in another company, you can make them feel safe, that they're safe coming over here, that there's other people that did the exact same scary steps that they did by leaving a team and coming here, and look at them now, you know. Or if it's because they didn't do anything like this before, we have tons of stories how people never did anything like this before. You know, tell them the stories, make them feel safe. And another thing, like, to not so much about starting, well, it's got starting the conversation. Like, if you have an awesome customer that absolutely is over the moon with this, they're a walking billboard.
Yes.
So they should be getting the profits for themselves. And I'll just say, our 2019 top seller in Canada was my customer, Ann James. And I just, right from day one, I said, Ann, you need to do this. Oh no, I'm going to leave that for you young girls, she said. I'm like, no, Ann, seriously, you need to do this. So every month when she show up at my door to pick up her new product or a refill or whatever, I just be like, you know, Ann, you know what I'm going to say. She's like, I know. And she eventually joined, more or less to get a discount, maybe earn a little bit of money just so she could buy her products. And look at her go.
Mhm.
So it was just that constant watering the plant. I wasn't harassing her. I would just nicely, jokingly say something every time I seen her.
I do the
And
same
she
thing.
did
I kind of have it in a joking manner, like I'm serious, but I make light of the situation. Say that they don't feel like they're being bombarded with me. Like I make a joke out of it, but they
Yeah.
know I'm being serious.
Yeah. So yeah, just, you know, once you get the people interested, just reach out once in a while, like once a month or something. So you don't want to be too pushy.
Mhm.
But yeah, just literally say, hey, are you ready yet?
Yep.
What's holding you back? Maybe they're
Exactly.
busy right now. Maybe they need to save their money. Maybe there's something, you know. At least it's sparking the conversation and showing them that you still want them, that you're still interested in them, and you still feel that they need to be over here.
Exactly. Another thing too, just to add, is a lot of people may be hesitant because they think that this is going to take a lot of their time.
Yeah.
And they don't realize that this is their business to put in as much time as they want or need to put in. And I think sometimes you just have to let them know that, because I've had people that said, you know, I can't do what you do. I said, you don't have to do what I do. This is my full-time job.
Yeah.
Most people, it's their side gig to put in an hour or two, you know, here and there when they have a chance to do it. But people don't realize, like, sometimes they just see what you're doing and think they have to do exactly what you're
Yeah.
doing.
And we have to remember to tell them that we don't have to overcomplicate it.
Exactly.
And when we want to reach out to somebody, we don't have to overcomplicate it. And I just want to touch base on the whole word vomiting thing.
Mhm. Yes.
Because I word vomited it so much in the beginning. People would be interested and they'd be like, hey, Sally, I'm interested in becoming a beauty guide. And I'd write out this great big long thing going on why the company's so amazing, why the products are so amazing, why the compliment is so amazing. And I'd lose them. So now if somebody reaches out and they're like, hey, Sally, I'm interested in joining to be a beauty guide, I say, that's wonderful. How amazing. I'm super excited for you. What would you like to know?
Exactly. Ask them the
I
question.
leave it at that.
Yeah.
They tell me what they need to know.
Exactly.
And then I answer them and I ask them another question. And then they, you know, we keep going back and forth.
Yes.
Everybody's story of why they want to join is going to be different. Some's going to be for money. Some's going to be for something to do. Some are going to say, I might as well get my stuff at a discount. Some are going to say, I absolutely love makeup. It's my life. Others are going to say, I love the skincare. I want other people to enjoy it. Everybody's going to have a different reason. And then that's how you do your approach.
Exactly. Spot on. Yes. Yes. Awesome. Well, thanks, Sal. Is Candy Gustafson on? I don't even know. Is she on? I can't see.
I don't see her.
I don't see her either. Okay. Well, I guess it's up to you, Christine.
Well, you know what? I've been like taking notes here, listening to you guys, because I love this conversation, and I hear two different things. I hear that everybody goes about it a different way when it comes to talking about the opportunity, and everybody has something that they feel more confident or a way about conducting their business that they feel more confident in, and everyone has something that they feel sort of, you know, less comfortable with. And it comes down to really starting by talking about Lime Life, talking about the opportunity in the way that you are comfortable. So I hear that everybody does it differently, but it's interesting because I also hear some similarities. So what I hear is that you can go about it whatever way you want to go about it, but here are some kind of similarities that I see running through everybody's story, which is education. I look at us as beauty guides as like we're educators. We can educate people on products, we can educate people on looks, and we can really let people know that there's a business side of this that might interest them. Because as Candy was saying, you know, that part of the thing she discovered in her network is that a whole bunch of people were actually thinking about this and she didn't realize. So it's letting people know that doing this as a business is an option, that it's an opportunity open to whoever might want to take advantage. And what I hear going on is that some people prefer to do that individually, and some people like to do it in more of a group dynamic, or say via social media. And so what's at the root of it is similar, but people go about it different ways. I'm also hearing some cool stuff about like figuring out who's interested. And this always comes back in my mind to like not being a mind reader, in that we can really easily assume that so-and-so might not be interested, or that these people wouldn't be interested, or that these people are too old, or those people are too young, or these people are too busy, or and at the end of the day, you know, the shocking thing sometimes is to hear, oh my goodness, I've been thinking about that, but I just wasn't sure. So it's remembering that, you know, we might not know who's actually interested in doing this. So one, we have to let them know it's an option, and two, we need to figure out if they might see themselves in this opportunity. I loved Leslie's point about creating a vision and being relatable, because I think, you know, and it really connects back to one of the other things I heard all of you say, which is no matter how you go about talking about the opportunity, you all customize or have learned to customize the information that you give to people, either by asking them, you know, what interests them, by asking, you know, like Sally's question, you know, what would you like to know more about? So when you do finally come to a place where you realize that someone is interested in learning more about Lime Life, the common denominator is that you've all learned how to customize the information that you give to them based on their needs, what they see this, you know, how they see this coming into their life, or the need that they see, you know, this business meeting to them. And I actually think that that's, you know, super awesome. So I just kind of, you know, feel like we're sort of ending here with something that's pretty exciting, which is there's no right or wrong way to do it. The only way to, the way to have success is to just take action in some way. That you can have action, that you can have success in person, that you can have success online. But the common denominator with everybody that talked today is that they're having conversations. And so I kind of feel like being able to find your own way is part of the journey. It's part of the joy. It can be kind of scary if you don't feel like your way is exactly the same as someone else's. But all it's going to take is a few conversations and you know, one beauty guide saying, yes, I'd love to try this, for you to get an idea of what's going to work for you. So give it a try. It's the only way to build the confidence. And as you get better at it, I think that's where the opportunity lies to then start experimenting with different things. So you might know what is most comfortable for you, but maybe as you get better at that, you decide that you're willing to try something that isn't as comfortable in terms of pushing yourself outside of that comfort zone. So baby steps, start where you are right now, see where it takes you. And I'm just actually really excited about this conversation. Good job, you guys, at really kind of getting to the bottom of the fact that like, there's not really like, there's, you know, the way that works for you isn't always the way that works for me. But at the end of the day, it all works.
Yes, exactly. Like Renee just said, when she's talking with someone, she said, I want you to do this with me. And I think that too kind of takes some stress off of them and like, come lock arms with me and we'll learn and figure all this out together kind of thing. So yeah, awesome.
Yeah, because I think like it just like my final point, I've always personally found sometimes the biggest hang up for people is that fear of feeling like, can I do this?
Mhm.
That seems to be sometimes the biggest obstacle. I mean, maybe if someone's had years of direct sales experience, they might have the confidence that they can do it. But even still, starting a new business over again can be kind of scary. So, you know, knowing that many people are like, can I do this? Whether it's, you know, can I rep skincare and makeup when I'm, you know, when I don't know much about skincare and I'm not a makeup artist? Can I have success in direct sales when I've never sold something before? Letting them know that you're with them and we're going to do this together. Who's in this with me? I think just sometimes really just gives people the courage and the confidence to take a leap.
Yes, I agree. That's awesome. I love it. All right. Well, I think that's it. Thanks everyone for hopping on. I hope this helped. And like Tish said earlier, if you ever have any questions from to any of us, feel free to reach out at any time. Yeah. And get the conversation started, guys.
Get the conversation started.
Yes. It's the funnest part of the business. I think anyways.
I would agree. I would agree. The
Yeah.
leadership part, the working with others part. I love that
Yeah.
part.
Helping changing someone's life for whatever reason that is definitely the most rewarding and fun part. So I love it.
Yeah, you are so right.
Yes. Awesome. All right. Well, thank
All
you
right,
for everybody.
everybody.
Everyone.
See you later.
Bye.